Hi everyone. Come on in. We are live. We are ready to go. Welcome to day two of Awakened. And this is day two of our 3-day journey. So, welcome. Come on in and say hello when you're here and um, join me on the deck. It is such a beautiful night tonight here, and it has been an incredible long weekend. We don't get too many of these beautiful long weekends in May that are so beautiful. And so I hope that you have been able to soak it up and enjoy if you're in Alberta and if you're out east. I heard there was some terrible storms, and I hope that you are safe or were safe and that you haven't experienced any damage from those high winds or tornadoes that went through there. And if you're not, tell me where you're from, say hello, come on in, and we'll get started in just a minute. So, I am on my deck again today, this time in a different corner of my deck because I am not sitting beside my hot tub. Hey, hi, Kelly. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I am so grateful that you are here. And so, if the hot tub turns on, we may hear it, but it won't be quite as loud as it was last night. And so, but you can still, I'm hoping you can still hear the birds. Beautiful. We had a frog in the backyard here croaking. Oh, I love summer. I am a summer girl. I don't know what season is your favorite season, but mine is absolutely summertime. That's when I thrive. So, as I said, today is day two of our 3-day journey in this free masterclass called Awakened. And it is all about awakening your heart, your desires, and your manifesting. And it is kicking off my new program called Manifest on Thursday, which I will tell you more about that at the end. But I want to give you food for thought in these 3 days, and also lots of tips that you can take with you and help you begin to, open up your manifesting. And because it's a continuous growth, we are all continuously growing and learning. I don't think there's anybody that can say, yep, I've mastered the manifesting. It is something that we continue to work on every day. And I do know, though, it's the ones who are committed to this learning, to being open, to committing to their own heart's desires, to committing to being the conscious creator in their lives. Those are the people that are having the results, right? So as we that brings in the question, as we are awakened souls here, as more and more people are awakening and recognizing that, you know what, there's more to this 3D world than what we see. There is some sort of force that is working with us because there are things that happen that go beyond explanation in our lives. And the thing is, so as we wake up and we become conscious of this extra co-creative power that we can tap into, why are we not doing it more? And there are some very good reasons why we're not doing it more often. So I'll jump into that in 1 second. Last night, we talked about the 4 layers of manifesting. So I hope that you saw that or got it through your email and you're going to watch it later. The 4 layers of manifesting are: first, we awaken, then we connect to this energy, then we begin to consciously create with this energy, and then it becomes about the journey of your own growth and evolution through lifetime. And that is the stage that we want to get to. That is where the power of manifesting really kicks in. And it is very exciting to be in that because it's like you no longer, you just kind of think about what you want and it starts to show up in your life. But there is some really valid reasons why we don't manifest every day. And as a coach, which I forgot to introduce myself. So if you don't know me, my name is Janice Gallant, and I am an artist, a teacher, and a women's empowerment coach. So I love helping women um, remember their wisdom, their empowerment through their creative flow so that they can become the artist of their life. And that is what we do in my programs, in my groups. And that's why I come on here is to give you some inspiration and content that could be useful in your life. I hope it's useful in your life. Okay, so most of us are not consciously manifesting every day. Why are we not putting more focus into this available power, right? Awareness is key. If you want to change something in your life, becoming aware is the pivotal moment where you get to make changes, you get to make new choices and shift the energy in your life. If you're not aware of where the energy is at, then we don't make any changes. We just keep going the way we're going. So if the problem is that we have a power that's available to us and we're not using it, the question becomes, why are we not using it? Why not? It's right there. Why not? And what it comes down to is basically there's a few things, but I'll say there's six main reasons why we don't use this power, why we don't consciously create every single day. And the six reasons are belief, time, focus, conditioning, and fears. That's five. Fears. I know why I said six because there was extra fears in there that I was going to talk about. So it's five things that we run up against. So the first thing is your belief. Where is your level of belief that you actually have access to this power, that you can co-create with this power? What level is your faith in this cosmic power, right? And your faith grows. And what we find out is that our belief is incredibly powerful. Every single time my belief in my ability to manifest something kicks in, you know, as it rises, um, everything changes. The power kicks in, right? Everything comes into alignment. Like when I've told this story before, but when I was, thinking about writing a book, I had thought about it and thought about it. It's like, yeah, I'd love to write a book. I really would love to write a book. And I knew what I wanted to write about. I wanted to write about manifesting, but I didn't know anybody that had ever written a book. I, didn't know how to get published, how to get a publisher um, even interested. And I remember standing in my kitchen and just all of a sudden I just went, you know what? If I want to write a book, I'll figure it out. I teach English in school. I could probably write a book. I think I got it. And I know what I want to write about. I'll just start writing and I'll figure it out one step at a time. And whoosh, this power came in. It was absolutely incredible. I sat down, I wrote that day, I did the full outline for my book. I wrote the introduction and the first three chapters in their first form. And at 5 o'clock, my husband came in and I looked up and I was like, it's 5 o'clock already? I've been writing all day. I was just in the zone and it was easy. It was easy. It just flowed. So that happened when my belief shifted in myself. When I said, I'm going to do this and I know I can figure it out. So when you're manifesting, one of the things that has to be there is it has to be believable for you that it can happen. So I shared with you that we are manifesting a new house right now. That is what we're working on. Now, my dream home, I don't believe right now that that's attainable because the dream home that I want is beyond um, this area that we live in. It's not, I've never seen anything like I want, and I would want to build it, and I would want it to be in the mountains. And so, right now, for me, I believe I can get that eventually in my life, but right now, this summer, that part isn't quite believable for me. So I am not trying to manifest this big, huge log home, timber home in our town. What I am trying to manifest is a beautiful space that I love as much as, or if not more, than this space. A space where I feel comfortable, that I feel like I could have, I could put my teepee up, I could have painting workshops, I could, I've got a beautiful spot to sit like this in my yard, and my home is comfortable. And you know what? I'm doing the happy dance on my driveway in my mind. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm so excited. We got this house. So that's what I mean by belief in what you are creating. Can you actually see it happening? And there's more to that we'll dive into in the Manifest program. There's a lot more about that, about elevating and reaching your higher dreams. But belief and intention are like close sisters. And if you haven't got a strong belief in your ability to create more in your life, that's when it gets a little bit wonky energy, right? So you need to really clean up that energy. And the other thing is that immediate gratification that we're so used to right now. I remember when I was a teenager, if you got a craving for seafood, you couldn't just run to your local grocery store and get it. It just wasn't available. Seafood became available around Christmas time or New Year's. And so you had to wait for that. And we didn't have very many seafood restaurants back then. So nowadays, though, like I live in Alberta and I can actually go and get seafood in Alberta. We're not near the oceans, right? So it's this immediate gratification. Oh, I have a craving for seafood. Let's go out for supper tonight, right? And we're all very much used to that. And so being able to be patient and trust that our manifestations are coming is hard for us. We're not used to waiting for it. And there are things that the universe needs to line up, right? And get things pulled together for you. As much as I do believe things can happen like immediately or very quickly, I also know that some things take time to line up. And when you trust in the universe, when you trust that this co creative power is working with you, you know it's coming. You stay in that energy of it's okay, it's coming, right? There's no need to take over, take control, because when we get impatient, we try to take over and make it happen quicker. And what happens is then we mess up that energetic frequency that is calling it into you, and it delays it, right? It delays it. It pushes it away for you. When you have fear that it's not coming fast enough, that is scarcity and undeserving energy. And so when those energies start seeping into your own frequency, you're no longer becoming the magnet to what it is that you desire. So you want to stay in that energy, that frequency of, you know what? I asked for it. It's coming. It's coming. And I'm just like staying tuned in to that frequency, staying perfectly aligned so that I can listen to the inspiration that is coming through and the guidance, because there might be something that you need to do along the way that, those universal forces are guiding you and nudging you to talk to someone or to do this or that, and that's what's going to start the, cause and effect of getting you to your desired outcome. So number two, the other thing is time and focused attention. Few of us have the ability to take even 1 hour out of a 12-hour day just for ourselves. And when you think about that, it's really quite sad because this is your life. This is your life. It's not your kid's life. It's not your husband's life or your spouse's life or your friends or your work. This is about you and your journey and your walk through this lifetime. And as much as we do need to take care of our kids and our family, that's absolutely needed. We should have the space to carve out an hour just for us, right? An hour, even if it's like 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, some time that you can take a breath and you can get yourself aligned and you can reflect on your energy. Because if we can't create the space for the quiet inspiration to come through, and we can't take the time to reflect on, where's my energy at today, then it's going to make it harder to bring in our desires. I believe that what's coming in the future, I believe there's going to be more and more people that go part time in their work, that we create a lifestyle that allows us to work part time and have time for our life. We'll see, right? A few years down the road, you can come back and say, yep, Janice said. Um, so if um, if we don't have time and we are trying to manifest intermittently, we get that start, stop to the energy. We don't get a momentum going that brings it through quickly. So we have to be able to hold the frequency long enough and strong enough of our desires for it to come in. And and that is a beautiful process, and it's something that we work on in Manifest. We excuse me, we hold that frequency. We remind ourselves every day, a couple times a week, that of what we're creating, right? So it takes focus, and the world is moving very, very fast around us. And so we need to know how to disengage from that world and consciously create. We have to take our focus of consciousness and have a date with it, right? Set our clear intentions, know what it is that we're calling in, and remember. And the one thing that I'll say about Manifest, which is really important, is that we are going to work on one dream for the 6 weeks, one focused dream. That's the other thing, is where our attention kind of goes all over the place. Oh, I want this and I want that and I want that. But think about it. If you could focus on one thing for the next 6 weeks, what would you focus on creating more of in your life? So we'll be working on that. Now, another big thing, number 3, is conditioning. Our minds are conditioned to believe certain things. And, we were raised by people who didn't really have knowledge of conscious creating. We are in a whole new generation here of consciously creating, and we're going to start passing that down to our kids as we grow, or our grandchildren in my case. But we weren't raised by people who were aware of the fact that we can co create in our lives with the universe. We were raised by people who actually, bless their souls, were very limited in their thinking. And I know, especially people my age and, older, it was a very, very limited world, all about scarcity and competition. Um, the newer generations, the younger people that are, in my groups and in my programs, they are showing me, like, they are so wise. They are so wise, and they are like in their 20s and 30s, and I'm so excited for them because they are way ahead of where we ever were. Even though I started this manifesting, this conscious manifesting, when I was in my late 20s, I had a lot of learning to do, and it wasn't a lot of conversation around it, not open conversation. Whereas now you can just check into YouTube, you got me on here on Facebook talking about it. These are conversations that were behind closed doors, so to speak, not open. So we need to recognize that, you know, we had ideas and beliefs imprinted without us even realizing it. And the more aware you become of what you're thinking and the energy that you are exuding, the more you start to realize, like, oh my gosh, I was thinking, in limited ways and I didn't even realize it. Um, our media, our social media, our news, our education, the norms are all designed to have you fit in society. No outliers, please. We don't want any outliers in the world. So it was it's all designed to make everyone, you know, get along and things go smoothly. Here's a study that I heard that really woke me up to this. It awakened me to the idea that, oh my gosh, we are conditioned without even realizing how much we are conditioned. So there was a study, I think it was Tony Robbins that that's I heard this from, that there was a study that was done where they went up to people and they had like a warm coffee and they said, could you hold this for a minute? And they passed them their coffee. And then they asked the people to read this passage. It took a few minutes. If you could just read this passage. So the people are reading the passage while holding a warm coffee. 80% of the people that were holding the warm coffee um, described the character in the passage as warm and loving. And then they did it with a cold drink, and they had people hold the cold drink in their hand while they read the exact same passage. And 80% of the people described the character as cold and uncaring. So our minds are influenced and conditioned without us even realizing it. And so one of the things we need to do is, first of all, become aware of what we're thinking and what could be going on around us. Is there a song playing in the background that is triggering an emotion on you, right? Is there some sort of billboard sign that you just passed? Or, just becoming more and more aware and also taking control of your mind, doing things differently in order to make your mind have to wake up and think without it being automatically. It's like when we learn how to drive a car, right? At first, it's really hard. There's so many things to remember. And then it becomes automatically. You don't even think about driving your car. You're thinking about all these other things while you're driving your car. And your mind becomes that way too. We do things by habit and by rote and without even realizing it. So the more we can wake up our minds and become more aware of our thoughts, the more we can shift them into being those thoughts and feelings and emotions that are going to make you a magnet to your desires. So we got to wake them up, right? Change the routine. Um, Now, the last one that I'm going to talk about tonight is fears. We all have our own fears, but there are a number of common fears that I have found, even in myself as I did the work and kept growing and evolving, and in my coaching clients. There's a number of different fears that are very much similar across the board for all of us. And one of them is the fear of failure, the fear of ridicule or being embarrassed, right? And and that fear will keep us, it'll hold us back from even trying to go for our dreams. It'll even keep us from opening our heart to become aware of what is it that we want? What are our heart's desires? So we also fear that we could lose it all, right? That we could go for it, get it, and then lose it because maybe that's been a pattern in your life. Or you could fear that if I go for it, I might just make things worse. I may make things worse for my family. So you could be trying to protect your family too. So just becoming aware of these fears. And I want you to think about this tonight, to really think about what are the biggest fears coming up for you as to why. Like if you knew you could go after your dreams, right? If you knew the potential of gaining all these beautiful desires that you want are there, why are you not going for it? What's stopping you? What fears are getting in the way? There's the fear of success too, right? The fear that, well, if I get it, if I get to that desired outcome, maybe it'll be too much to handle. And maybe it'll mean more work for me rather than the desired freedom that I'm looking for, right? Maybe I'll lose it. Maybe I'll get it and then it'll all crash and burn, kind of like the shoe dropping, the other shoe dropping, people, that's a big one with the women in my groups. It's like, things start coming to them and they get so excited and then they're like, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop because nothing ever goes this good for me. And it's like, okay, you are forgetting your power. You're forgetting your power in the moment. When we start worrying about the future and what might happen, you're forgetting how powerful you are right now in this moment. And it does get better and better. It doesn't have to be good and then bad and then good and then bad. It gets to get better and better because we create the energetic standards for that. That's another conversation that we'll have in Manifest, right? So, the other thing too is you might be afraid of being shunned by other people. Oh, if I get my heart's desires, if I become a millionaire, who's going to want what from me? People are going to want stuff from me. And maybe my family won't feel like they can relate to me anymore, or my friends won't feel like they can relate to me anymore. That's a money issue. You know what? Money doesn't make you bad. Money enhances your good qualities and enhances, the beautiful parts of you. Not having money can make you angry, can make you bitter, can make you lash out at other people, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. So money issues, money fears, there's a lot of them, and we go through that too in Manifest. But fearing that people we love will leave us, right? That's when we start to play small, just trying to keep other people comfortable. We can't worry about that. We can't worry about um, other people feeling like they don't belong around you anymore because what we want to do is keep growing and evolving and shining our light to show other people that they can too, that there's nothing special about you or me. We all have access to this, and eventually they will come along too, right? At first they might be a little bit "Mm," but eventually they'll start to go, well, if she could do it, I can do it too. If it worked for her, it's going to work for me, right? Um, the fear of letting go of what is comfortable, good, or familiar for something new. And I talked about this a little bit last night because I am right there, right in the middle of that pot right now. The fear of letting go of what is beautiful, this beautiful acreage, and knowing that it gets to like be better, that change is good, that change can bring through even more, that letting go of what is beautiful and comfortable and something I love is like taking that leap off the cliff again and saying, but I can create this again, or I can create more. I've already I'm already at the energetic standard of what we have. Now let's see what else we can create and make space for, right? Um, and then there is the fear of what others will think. That is a huge one. So it does kind of fit in with, the fear of people shunning you and that sort of thing. But this is more the fear of what other people will think if you go for it. If you say, yeah, I'm going to create this in my life. I know women that have manifested their dream vehicle and park it in the garage because they worry about what their neighbors are going to think about them if they drive it. It's like, okay, right? We got to let this go. It's like if you are going to create your heart's desires, your dreams, and you're going to manifest that in your life, who exactly are you worried about? Who is going to judge you? Who is going to have thoughts? And what are they thinking, right? Like, exactly who? Because if you shine the light on this fear, if you really look it straight in the face, there's going to be some people that come to your mind. And it's in your mind. Those voices are in your mind. So identify the who and then let's take a look at that, right? Because most people are too busy in their own lives to worry about you that much to begin with. The people that are judging you and making comments, are the ones that are looking at you, they're watching. They're the ones that we want to impact the most. They're the ones that we want to say, hey, you can do this too, right? We cannot dull in our light. We cannot play small because we're worried about what other people are thinking and what other people will think. 9 times out of 10, if you're worried about what your mom will think, she'll probably be happy for you. Even though you might be thinking she's gonna, have some other words, may not be the truth. So that is a huge fear. And these fears can be so sneaky and they just hang out in the background. What you can do is just feel into them. Like just feel into what is stopping me from actually going all in and committing to my dreams. What is holding me back? And so, first of all, it might be, well, time. I don't actually take the time to commit. Or there might be something else there just hanging around inside of you. There might be something that when you start to get used to feeling into your energy, feeling into things, into your emotions and your feelings, you start to pick up on these subtleties that are there. And when you start to see them, you're like, oh my gosh, that's what I was thinking. I didn't realize I was thinking that. Oh my gosh, it's so good to take that and pull that out. It's kind of like, reminds me of in Harry Potter when, who's the wizard in Harry Potter? I can't remember his name now. But he takes his wand it's to his brain, and he pulls out the memories and drops them in the cauldron. It's like that's what we want to do with our fears, is like pull them out one by one, pull them out and get them out of the way. And then our manifesting power becomes so much stronger, so much more powerful, and our life becomes our own. We start to have more and more awareness and control over our own life. So there's so many conversations around these fears that we can have and go in deeper, but we don't have that much time tonight. But jumping into manifesting means calling out the fears. It means becoming aware of the fears and committing to your desires of your heart and stop hiding from them, because sometimes we have these desires in our heart and we're just keep shoving them down, right? It means carving out space in your life for you to consciously create and becoming aware of how your thoughts are conditioned and how you behave and you react to different things. It's all part of the work of the self-led manifester. So this is where we go in the program Manifest. 6 weeks of really focused intentions on manifesting your one dream in this. And you'd be surprised. You might work on one dream, really focused on one, but others come through too. It's magical. And there are miracles that do happen. But how much, do you want to change in your life? How much, um, like, how far can you dream, right? Do you want to stay where you are? Fine. That's awesome. Stay there, right? But do you really want to take advantage of the time you have on this planet? I know that I want to become my fully expressed me. I want to become the best version of me. I want to keep growing and keep evolving and keep, learning and keep having new experiences. I don't want to get stuck in old age of sitting in my home, same old routines all the time. Nothing wrong with that. I love routines and patterns. I really do. I am a Taurus and I love my home and I love my grounded space and knowing that I'm safe and having those routines that keep me feeling comfortable and secure. But I do know that I want more. I want more. And I want to enjoy life to the fullest while I can. And a self led manifester will say, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm going to create this. I am going to do this. And I'll figure it out as I go. And I'll connect with others, right, that are doing it too, because I know that together we are a force that, like, we can create so much more when we manifest together. The energy, it's like that mastermind, right? When two people come together and they start to, work and work on something together, it's like a third mind comes in, and it's a bigger energy. Right? That is the same thing when we come together in these programs, in these groups, and we start to all talk about manifesting and all the juicy tips and things that you can do to take your manifesting to the next level. When we're all doing that and we're in the group and we're having fun together, it's like the energy exponentially expands and gets stronger. That is the power that we have in my Wednesday night groups of When Women Gather. That's the intention around it, is that we are together, our energy is expanding together. We are meditating together. We are talking about cutting edge quantum energy manifesting and things like that. So that, is a lot of fun, and I've experienced it and I know it happens. And so that's why I'm bringing this group together. I believe there is so much more in this world. And as a self-led manifester, you believe that you can do more, have more, be more, expand more, shine more, right? And you start to go, okay, yeah, if she can do it, I can do it, because there's nothing special about her. And I know we can do this together. So Manifest will give you the tools. Like, it's the group energy is so much better than going it alone. We hold our focus together longer, right? Um, you are constantly reminded of your intention of what you want to create. It's really, really hard to do it on our own because life distracts us, and you go, okay, for the next 6 weeks, I am going to really focus on this dream. Well, I guarantee you that after the second week, you're going to be like taken away with life and come back, 3 weeks later and go, dang it, I was trying to manifest. So being in a group with that group energy really helps you hold that focus there and maintain that energy. Because remember, I said we have to hold the energy strong enough and long enough for that beautiful high level frequency energy to move in and manifest physically. It comes in as a thought and we can influence it. Now, this This is science, guys. Like we have an influence over energy. We do. So, um, so you'll be walking with me, and I'm going to remind you, you're going to get like 10 to 12 hours of manifesting information about, you know, tips for manifesting, as I said, but also about how to overcome the fears, how to work with the fears. What kind of money fears are coming up for you? What kind of fears that are blocking you and keeping you from moving forward? What kind of ancestral patterns are coming in? All of these things we work through. And the goal is that by the end of the 6 weeks, you can more powerfully do it on your own. And so in the group, it really helps you see the possibilities and all the potentialities of what is there for you in the quantum field. Um, your belief will get stronger. You'll find yourself stretching beyond your current manifestations and into a new level of potentiality, a new level of like, really, that's possible? I didn't even think of that, right? And we will calibrate together to a higher frequency. Um, you're going to vision and expect your life to change, and it will change. I have no doubt. If you're coming in and you're doing it every day with me, then things are going to change for you. So just imagine where that could be in 6 weeks. The power of manifesting, right? Giving yourself permission. So that is coming up on Thursday, and I just wanted to tell you a bit more about it today. The because the early bird pricing is on until tomorrow. And so you need to take a peek at it if it resonates with you and come in and join me in this group. Tomorrow night, we are going to talk about now what's the next step? Once you get past the fears, what else can you do to expand your manifesting power? So tomorrow night is going to be potent, and I'm going to be giving you lots of really great tips of how to manifest, right? So thank you for being here tonight. I hope that you have found this helpful. That's why I do these. I love talking about this. Um, and my goal is to help you become a better manifester, as that's my goal for me too. Always growing, always evolving, and just bringing it in one dream at a time because there's always going to be something more, right? There's always going to be something more. So please, if you do have questions, pass them on to me. Send me a message. Um, I will absolutely bring it into the chat tomorrow if you want. And I hope you have a beautiful night. Tomorrow is at 7 o'clock. Again, it's our last night together. And thank you, thank you, thank you, you guys, for being here. So if you're on my email list, you will get this recording. Otherwise, it will be here in the feed and in Soulfully Aligned Women, if you're a member of Soulfully Aligned Women, for a little while. And then it's only available uh, through my email. Okay? Have a beautiful night. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Bye for now.